Okay, it's time to do another review. Today I'm gonna do my final review on the Yamaha Genos2 after almost 40 days of ownership. I bought this keyboard at the very first day that it came out, November the 15th, from Sweetwater. Of course, it took like 5 days for this to have been shipped to me, and it didn't came from Sweetwater, it came from one of the Yamaha warehouses in Arizona. So right off the bat, when you take it out of the box, you will notice it's exactly like a Genos1. It's based on the same platform, has too many similarities. It's a very good quality keyboard. In terms of features, I would say this is just about improvement over the previous Genos. So the Yamaha didn't build anything from scratch. So they had the Genos, it was a flagship, and it was there for almost 7 years until this came out, until the PA5X came out, and I guess they had to respond to this. And Cork had like a 5.5 years to study and look at the Genos to build this, whereas Yamaha had only 1.5 years to come up with this. So of course at this short time they didn't try to make anything something completely new. They just did some improvement, and I assume the reason is there is not a huge market for this type of keyboards. These are mainly for home players. Certain type of home players. It has been targeted for certain type of demographics. So they don't sell too many of these keyboards like they sell like Yamaha Montage or Yamaha Montage M8X. Those are like flagships. And that's the reason I guess the Yamaha didn't try to redesign the whole thing, because financially it doesn't make any sense for them to redesign everything from scratch. And the Genos was honestly a very powerful keyboard. They just needed some improvements, and they did some improvements. Mainly focused on the sound quality. So what they did, they have improved the sound quality on Genos. Not that the original Genos was bad. The original Genos was very good keyboard, but this one is 10 to 15% better than original Genos, which is great, because imagine you had something which was very great, and now after 10 to 15% of improvement, it's still going to be a very great keyboard. The things that you get here, definitely they changed this slider knobs, and now it has a cache, you get LEDs, all the things probably you have seen on my previous reviews or here and there. So for the most part, when you look at this keyboard, it looks pretty much the same as the old one, but when you go through the details, you see they have done a lot of improvement here and there. You see a lot of changes. I mean, you know, the sound quality, adding the ambient drums and stuff like that. and adding more styles. So I guess it's a good keyboard for what it is. But it could use more improvement. Definitely they could add like a seamless sound transition. That's the thing that is lacking here. Unfortunately, I mean, this is a very pretty good sound keyboard. All the sounds are polished. It's like someone sat here and engineered all the sounds with a mixer to the best of its perfections. So the sound quality that you get out of this, especially in some acoustic categories like guitars, brass, saxophones, and some of the pianos are great. Those sounds are really great, and the drums, I like drums too. So the sound quality is really great. I mean, I cannot imagine that you can go even beyond this point. Matter of fact, this keyboard has one of the best sounds that I've ever heard on any keyboards. There are not too many other keyboards on the market that they have a sound quality like this, and the few that I know that are from Yamaha, like the Yamaha Montage M8X, and if you want to buy like a digital piano, the Clavinova series, like a CVP 909, has the same sound quality. So in that regard, this is one of the best on the market. In terms of features, is lacking behind the Korg Flagship PA5X. PA5X definitely has some more professional features, and as you see, it's stated this is a professional arranger, and it's been designed to be oriented more toward the pro consumers. So you have a professional build quality is definitely professional. You have a metal body, you have wood side panels, you have fully hammer action keys. Of course, some might say, you know, you don't want this because it makes it too heavy, but the good thing is this one comes in 3 different categories, configuration, like a 61, 76, and this one, which is the 88 key. So in that regard, it's better. The build quality is definitely better, and you get more features. To name the few of the features that you get here, and you don't even have on the Yamaha Genos, you have the ribbon control, you have 4 more filling buttons here, you have a crossfade between 2 different styles that it can be played simultaneously. You have sampling on board, you have this multi-pad thing that you can use for different functions. When it comes to drum setting and adjustment, you can go further down. I mean, it has more features. When it comes to the drum settings, drum editor has much more features. I can choose my drum, and I can go deep down and do too many tweaks, change the frequency and ambient volume and stuff like that. You have some features like that on the Yamaha Genos, of course, but in this one you can dip even more and more. But the other thing is, when you are on a menu, like a recording menu, everything is more played well, because when I go to the record menu, everything is here. I just push the record, then I can record my mouse pads, start, everything is here. I don't have to go to through different pages. And over here I have my mixer right here, so I don't have to deep down to menus. So everything is here, just a touch away. And Yamaha, I have to push the direct access and push like a different variation. So it has more. You have to go deep down to more menus to get there. So somehow the workflow, when it comes to customization, when it comes to editing, definitely this machine has an edge over Yamaha Genos2. But when it comes to the workflow, definitely this is very easy to work with. The menu is very smooth and very nicely designed, especially if you had like a Genos or even Type series. This is pretty similar to that. So you're not going to have a very deep learning curve. Everything is pretty much identical to the original Yamaha Genos. What I like about this machine is technically the ease of use, dependability and reliability, because none of these buttons gonna ever gonna go bad. I mean, they might, but I mean, they barely go bad. That's what I like about the Yamaha products. They are very reliable. You can throw tons of load at them, and they were pretty good. The keyboard is good for whatever it is. It's not gonna break or fail or anything, but it's not a great keyboard. Honestly, this keyboard is not the keyboard that you want to play piano with it. It's too soft, it's too spongy. It's technically a keyboard that you get on a PSR series. So it's not like a fully weighted keyboard that you get on PA5X. So I wish this one had a better keyboard. It doesn't mean that it doesn't feel good, but it for me is too soft and spongy, unfortunately. So overall, I like this Genos. Anytime I play with it, I just enjoying it. Because as a matter of fact, when I bought my PA5X last year, I found myself that I wasn't playing my Genos that much anymore because I was enjoying this, and definitely had better features, better styles. But when I bought the Genos2, now I'm playing this a lot because I really enjoy this, and I like the styles, I like the quality, sound quality, and there are too many styles that if you are playing cover songs, you're gonna enjoy those styles. Definitely, they're nice. If you wanna have something with a very good quality, sound quality, definitely this is your keyboard. But as I mentioned, the PA5X has been designed to be more oriented toward is more like a pro-oriented, whereas the Genos is like a more home player oriented. This is technically designed for mainly for Yamaha loyal customers, the people who used to play Tiger series or PSR, or people who are still playing PSR and want to switch to something more quality. And those are like a traditional Yamaha keyboard consumers. And the reality of the situation is this type of keyboards are not in demand that much. The proof is the Yamaha, for instance, cut the production on Yamaha Montage and before they come up with the new Montage M8X, and for 6-7 months you couldn't find any Montage on the market until all of a sudden they introduced the new M8X, and it was the same case for Modi X to Modi X Plus. But on the Genos2, I'm assuming definitely they have cut on the production of the Genos2, and they reduced the price from $5,999 to $4,999. But you still can buy this old Genos. It's still available. That means they didn't sell that much. They couldn't sell that many of these machines. And for that, that's the reason. Not too many people buying these things anymore, because these are mainly for home players, the people who probably in 80s, early 90s, they went to the Yamaha music school. And I remember back then they tried to teach chords and everything, and their teaching method back then was just working with the arrangers. And the majority of the people who are buying these are the consumer who are from that era. And so there are not too many of them, and in the future there might not even be too many demand for a machine like this. Arrangers are not in demand anymore, and like a Roland abandoned the arranger production a long time ago. They had a G70, which I had one, and it was a pretty good one, but they decided to pull out of that market a long time ago, and they just manufacturing professional workstations like Phantom now. So the Genos and PA5X might be the last of its own kind, sadly, and not too many people gonna buy this in the future. So, matter of fact, maybe within 10 years or so, you don't see any arrangers anymore. I mean, you might see, but they might not be like a flagship like this. They might still keep manufacturing the cheaper ones, but I don't think maybe not the flagship, because right now the role that these arrangers used to play are has been substituted with stage pianos and synthesizers like a Montage, even Mod EX, Phantom or Phantom Zero Series, and Korg Nautilus. Now people are buying more of these things, and on the stage you never used to see, even back in the days I never seen any of these arrangers on the stage, unless if it's a very small venue, like maybe in a restaurant, maybe, I mean, if you play in the kindergarten. Here in the United States, you don't see any arranger on the music venue. In some countries, small countries, mostly like European countries or Eastern European countries, places like Greece or this on this stage. I don't know why. It could have something to do with the economy situation of those countries, but definitely they're not in the category in here in most of the Europe and in United States. People don't use this on the stage. It doesn't mean that if you're buying this, you're not into the music professionally. I know a lot of pro players and a lot of composers who buy this type of arrangers, but they just use this for their home, or their studio, for just to some extent. But these are not definitely for stage playing. However, the good thing about the Genos is it's very lightweight, so you can take it here and there, and definitely they have redesigned this screen now. You have more visibility. You can take it outdoor, and definitely you can play it at any lighting situation. Overall, I'm going to compare this keyboard with a direct competitor PA5X in a few different categories, and I'm going to give them a score from 1 to 10 and see which one is the winner. But of course, this doesn't mean that any of these two wins is the better. They both are great arrangers. They are professional arrangers, flagships, but they're different. I'm going to start with the sound quality. Definitely the Yamaha Genos has the best sound quality that I've ever heard, especially in some acoustic voices. When it comes to the categories like a synth or pad voices, definitely it falls short behind PA5X. PA5X has definitely better synth voices because it has a designated synth engine, and most of the synth voices or pad voices that you hear, they have like some kind of motion sequence. So they're great. So in that category, I found this machine to be far better than the Yamaha Genos. And the strings are like the strings a little bit better. Not that the strings are bad on Yamaha Genos. The Yamaha Genos has beautiful strings, but they're too harsh. You have to work on them, yeah, so to make them. But on this one, you have on the PA5X, you have definitely more soft and beautiful and luscious strings. The other sound category that I like on this one is pianos. The pianos are great, and because you have this great sort of keyboard, playing the piano on this keyboard is really pleasant. Of course, I also like the electric pianos better on this one. So overall, these categories, electric pianos, strings, and pad voices and synth voices are far better on PA5X. Whereas like the brass voices, saxophones, and the guitars are much more nicer on this one, more natural. And also, of course, you have this new synth engine, the FM synth engine, that it gives you very beautiful sounds. One of the things that I heard and everybody complains is that why it is not editable. So that the reality is, if you are into the FM synthesis, I assume you should have already some sort of professional synthesizer, like a Montage MDX, Phantom, or anything else, anything in that category. So you're not gonna use this for that purpose. However, they give you the FM sound engines, and if you're not into sound designing, which majority of the people who are buying this, they are not, you can have very beautiful and enhanced design sounds from DX7. All the DX7 electric pianos are here, beautifully made. You don't have to tweak anything, so in that regard I found it to be good. But if you are into FM synthesis, definitely you have to purchase the type of synthesizer and add it to this. But overall, in the sound category, sound quality category, I gave this machine 9.8 out of 10, whereas I gave PA5X 9.2 out of 10. Because, you know, some of the sounds, not that they are not beautiful, they are very natural. Even the acoustic guitars are natural, but overall, as I mentioned, the sounds on Genos2 are more polished. Matter of fact, sometimes they are too over exaggerated. I mean, it's like when you take a picture from a subject with your phone camera, and the colors turn to be more vivid and even beautiful than what they are in real. That's the case in here. The sounds are even more beautiful than what they are in real life. But yeah, overall, I give this machine 9.8. When it comes to the build quality, definitely I give PA5X 9.8 out of 10 because it has a very professional build quality. We have a metal frame and definitely all the sort of things that you expect to get on a professional keyboard. When it comes to the build quality, it doesn't mean that the Genos2 is bad or flimsy. No, it has a very rigid, beautiful body. And as I mentioned, it has the reliability and dependability of Yamaha products. They're never going to break down on you. But because it's plastic, which could be an advantage if you want to take this here and there, so it's more portable. But I give this 9.2 out of 10. However, this one comes in 3 different configurations that you can choose it for. Depends on your use. You can buy it even 61 key, which is shorter and smaller, but still heavier than the Yamaha Genos. When it comes to features, I give Genos2 9.2 out of 10. It has too many features I like, especially I like this new ambient drum, and I like this new dynamic control. These are nice features, but I'm going to talk about them later, that are they usable or not. Honestly, I don't use them that much. I found myself not to use them that much, and especially because these encoder knobs are really hard to grab. I mean, these encoder knobs are not like they're kind of a hard plastic and slippery, but if you want to use that feature, definitely in that regard, it's a very nice keyboard. So having that feature, it's nice. So when it comes to the features, as I said, I give 9.2 to the Genos2, whereas I give 9.8 to PA5X because you have much more features here. You not even have the guitar input, which is a very nice touch, and so you can connect your guitar here. You can go through the guitar settings. You have too many presets here, and of course you can edit guitar presets. You can change the effect here, so it's a very nice feature. The other feature that you have here that you don't have on Yamaha, you have the ribbon control. You have 4 buttons, 4 designated buttons, for fillings. On the top of the fillings, auto filling that you get when you switch from any of these variations. Then you do have this crossfade between 2 different stars that you can play simultaneously. So technically you can change or switch between 2 similar or even non-similar styles, and that's a nice feature. And you have sampling on board. So there are too much more features on this one than you don't find on Yamaha Genos. In that regard, I give the Core PA5X more score. And then on the category of the value for money, honestly, I think the Genos is a kind of overpriced, but it might have something to do with the quantity, because they do not sell too many of these keyboards, and some part of it, so it's because of that, some part of it because of the content, because they had too many famous songs, famous stars for the famous songs, so they had to pay for, I guess they had to pay for the copyright, that made this machine more expensive, even though they use the same content for the Clavinova series. So when I compare this to a professional synthesizer like M8X, or even Montage, or even original Montage, so you can get the M8X at $4,500, and this one is $6,000, almost $5,600. It doesn't make any sense to be more expensive. So yeah, so for the value of the money, I should give this 8.5, because the amount of features and the quality that you get for the money is not that great, whereas this one is even cheaper than the Genos. This one is $5,300 for the 88 key version. You can get it cheaper at 76 key category configuration, or at 61, and it has a professional build. So when it comes to the value for the money, I give this 9.8 out of 10, because you're getting a very great keyboard, very great quality at the lower price. So definitely, I mean, I have to give this more score. And the other category that I'm gonna score these two, the styles. The styles on this one are very nice. You have almost like a 800 stars, so you have 300 new stars that have been added to the to this Genos in comparison with the original Genos, and you have all the older stars are resounded, so beautiful stars here. However, not all of them are usable. You can also download like 400 more stars from Yamaha website for their expansion packs, and so you can have up to 1200 stars. Not all of them are usable because they are in different genres. Maybe you end up using maybe 200 or 300 of these stars, but this one has a very intuitive and easy to use star creator, so you can easily create your own style. But I wish Yamaha and Cord, they both could come up with a feature like what you get on the Roland Phantom or Akai's, to have like a piano roll when you create your style. That would be very awesome to get that feature. Anyway, so when it comes to the style, almost 500 of these stars are old. They've been around for, some of them have been around for 20 years. They are from PSL series or Tiger series, and some of them are from Genos series, but they have been resounded and now sound better. So overall, the stars that are from for cover songs are beautiful. But I wish we had more generic stars. So when it comes to the more generic stars, I found the PA5X has far better content. The stars, especially in ballad category, that you have a designated category in ballad or dance category, are far better on this one, more usable, and they have more groove to it and are more expressive. Overall, I should score them very similar because, but I give the PF5X a 9.5 out of 10 because you have better generic one. However, on Genos you have more famous styles that you can use for cover songs, but there are limitations because you can use them just for those type of songs. And so I give this one 9.4 out of 10. So overall, I think PF5X might have slightly a better score. It doesn't mean that PF5X is much better than Genos2. They both are great, but they are different. Definitely, if you are into like a FM synthesis voices, definitely need to pair any of these two up with a professional synthesizer like Phantom, Nautilus, Montage, or Montage 8. That's what I recommend. That way you're gonna have the most powerful sound creating machine. But of course the PF5X can be a very standalone, very great and powerful keyboard by itself because it has a very beautiful and powerful designated synth engine, beautiful natural sounds, whereas Genos2 has very polished and beautiful natural sounds, especially when it comes to saxophones and guitars. And of course I like all the FM engine sounds on this one. So it's hard for me to say which one is the best. As you see, I love them both equally. I have them both, and luckily I have money to buy them both. I'm not loaned any of these two by Yamaha or Korg, so I'm not like some people. They have to loan this for a month or 2 months and they leave a review. So whatever you hear on this is just my honest review. I'm not biased to any brand, even though I love Yamaha a lot and I have a lot of Yamaha equipment here. As you see, too many keyboards, guitars, mixer, even my monitors are Yamaha. I should admit, in some aspects, PA5X are better than Yamaha Genos2, but the Yamaha Genos2 is still a very powerful and beautiful, made with the very natural and polished acoustic voices. And it depends on what is your use, what is your purpose. You might want to buy Genos2 or PA5X, whichever suits you the best. But these are all on my honest review about these two machines, and they are just different products for different type of consumers. The good thing is, because the Yamaha is the largest music instrument manufacturer in the world, they have too many different products. So if you are interested in the high quality sounds of Genos2, but you don't want to buy it because of you don't like the keybed, you can either buy the Yamaha Montage M8X, their flagship synthesizer, which has almost all the same sounds that you find on the Genos, but this is a workstation synthesizer. So if you want to have something like an arranger type, you may buy the Clavinova series. The CVP909 is identical to Genos2, but I should say the piano sounds are far even better than Genos2. But you have all those styles and the beautiful sounds, and it's a piano. It's more expensive, but in my opinion is worth it. You can buy that in, if you want to buy it in like a matte finish, is around $13,000. The glossy finish is around $14,000, and if you want to buy it in a grand piano version, it's around $18,000. Of course, it's more expensive than Genos2, but it's far cheaper than any piano that you want to buy, but has a very, very high quality piano. It has a GEX keybed, almost identical to one that you find on the Yamaha Montage M8X, and has all the nice sounds on the Genos2, plus has far better pianos and electric pianos. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about buy one and put it in my living room. It's more expensive than Genos2, but as I said, I believe it's worth for the money that you pay for that products. Thanks for watching this, and until the next review, bye.